Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, my friends. So, this afternoon, I will present about colloid that I already made the PPT with our groups, with our group. So, this is colloid by group 1. Okay, please, Audy, next to the next slide. Okay, first of all is what's colloid? What is colloid? So colloid is dispersion system with particles substantially larger than ions or small molecule but smaller than suspension particles. The particles are too small to be visible to the unaided eye. It is heterogeneous mixture, but the particle do not settle down. A colloid is a state between a solution and a suspension. So I think you will be a little bit confused about this definition of colloid. So I think I will take one example of colloid. It is, do you know busa, bubble, like foam made by our face cleanser? Yeah, so that's what is it? The example of colloid. You know the book dusk. Yeah, dusk is colloid. It is contained between gas and solid. So the book dusk, it is contained of solid state. Do you know what I mean? Like if we walk in the like pembangunan, it is very dusty. You can what is it? Feels the dust, the solid state like that. Okay, so I think it is very long. So we can next to the next slide. So the next is properties of colloids. So the properties of colloids show the following properties. First is it is a heterogeneous mixture. And second is the size of colloidal particles is very small, like between 1 until 100 nanometers. Third is it shows the Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect was first discovered by a British scientist named John Tyndall, so that the name is Tyndall effect. The Tyndall effect is the scattering of light by colloidal particles. So when a light beam is directed into a solution, the light will be passed on. So we can't see it. This is because the solution is homogeneous. However, when a light beam is directed into a colloid and suspension, the light beam will be scattered so that the trace can be seen. And fourth is absorption of particles on colloidal surfaces. And last but not least is colloidal particles show Brownian movement. And next is types of colloids. So I think it will be more clear about colloids. So colloids is contained of disperse pass and dispersion medium. So the first example, it is disparate pass, it is solid and dispersion medium. Jadi disparate phase-nya itu solid, dalam bentuk solid, dispersion medium-nya itu juga dalam bentuk solid. So the name in this example is solid salt. The example is ruby glass, alloys, like a lot of them is a solid state. And then I think I will be take not very common example. It is disparate phase-nya itu liquid, and then dispersion medium-nya itu gas. Nah, it is named liquid aerosol. Nah, for this example is cloud and mist. You know, cloud, it is contained by liquid in, what is it? In the cloud, di dalam awannya itu kan liquid air hujan, tapi dia itu bentuknya seperti gas. Seperti itu. Semoga bisa dipahami dan bisa you can see another example of colloids. So next, I think this is the last is application of colloids. Please, Audy. Okay, application of colloids. So I think the common application of colloids, it is cosmetics, foods, and medical. I think for penicillin and streptomycin and hemodialysis, it is not very common, but I will explain about that. So first is cosmetics. Cosmetics industrial like foundation, finishing cream, deodorant. It is the application of colloids. Next is foods like milk, salad dressing, gelatin desserts, fruits, jellies, and whipped cream. And third is medical. For example, is antibiotics. And for penicillin and streptomycin, it is produced in colloidal form suitable for injection. And last but not least is hemodialysis. Hemodialysis is basically, it is used to separate colloidal ions through semi-permeable pores through dialysis technique. So colloids is very important in our lives. like hemodialysis. If I'm not mistaken, it is used for cuci darah. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, like that. That's application of colloids. So the next slide is, yeah, this is the last slide. Thank you for what is it? Hearing my presentation, and I'll be pleased to answer your questions. Thank you. So I apologize if I have a mistake. Yeah, thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Arifah Nur Andini from the second group, which will discuss about additive. So here I want to share you a little bit more about what we discuss about additive. So next slide. Okay, before we gonna move to talk a little bit more about additive, first we have to know about the definition of additive. What is additive? Food additives are substances that are intentionally added and mixed at the time of food processing for the purpose of improving appearance food, improve taste, enrich nutritional content, and keep food from rot quickly. Or we can simply say that additive is the substance that when we add it into the food, it will cause the changes, maybe the color changes or the taste and etc. And the next is there are several types of food additives. There are coloring agents, sweetening agent, fragrance agent, flavoring agents, and preservative. So in the next slide, I will explain a little bit more detail about each types of additive. Okay, the first is coloring agent. Coloring agent, we can simply say that the agent that can cause the change of color in foods. The coloring agent, there is two types. The first is natural agent and the second is synthetic agent. As the name, natural agent are dyes obtained from extract of natural ingredients. So this agent is not made or produced by human, but naturally there is or formed from the natural substances. For example, maybe pandan leaves, or maybe you know the suji leaves that when we put it into the food, or maybe like a water or filtrate it, it will produce a green color like that. And the other example is turmeric, which is produce yellow color, carrots produce orange, and etc. And the second is synthetic agent. Synthetic agent are made from chemicals. So this is the coloring agent that produced by human. And also the advantage of synthetic agent, if we compare it to natural agent, is the availability of different color traces, more easier to store and more durable. So we can buy easily the synthetic agent from store and etc. And for example is like carmine, which has a red color, sunset yellow, which has yellow color, and indigo carmine or indigo tine, and also etc. Next slide. Okay. The next type is sweetening agent and fragrance agent. The first is I will talk about the sweetening agent. Sweetening agent are chemical substances added to food or beverage that serve to give a sweet taste. So we can simply simplify it by say the sweetening agent or sweetener is the agent that can make the food more sweet and etc. Same with the previous one, there is the type of sweetening agent, which is natural sweetener and synthetic sweetener. Natural sweetener are obtained from plants. For example, we can find it into for glucose from fruits, fructose in honey, or sucrose in sugar cane. And for the next is synthetic sweetener. Synthetic sweetener are artificial sweeteners that cannot produce energy when they enter the human body. So the synthetic sweetener is only an artificial sweeteners, not really have effect for the human body with that. And for example for artificial sweeteners are saccharin, sodium cyclamate, magnesium or calcium cyclamate, aspartame, and alkyne. And the next is for fragrance agent. Fragrance agent are substances that can give a distinctive aroma to food or drink. And in fragrance agent, there is two types. Also, the first is natural fragrance. This substance comes from extract of natural ingredients such as essential oils and vanillin. So one part of the plant that can produce essential oils is from flowers, for example. For the flowers is like love flowers and also etc. And the next is synthetic fragrance. This substance is made to produce a certain aroma, usually a compound ester groups such as amyl caproate, which will produce apple aroma, ethyl butyrate, pineapple aroma, vanillin for vanilla aroma, and methyl antranilate before produce a grape scent. Next. Okay. The next types for additive is there are flavoring agent and preservative. For flavoring agent, there is two types also, natural flavoring and synthetic flavoring. For natural flavoring, we can find it into garlic, onion, pepper, coriander, lemongrass, bay leaf, and pandan leaf. Atau flavoring agent itu penyedap rasa. And for the next is synthetic flavoring, we can find it into, I'm sorry, this is the milk. Yeah, Ajinomoto, Mibuan, Sasa, Maggi, and etc. And for the next is preservative. Preservative, there is natural preservative like salt and sugar, and also synthetic preservative like vinegar, sodium, and calcium propionate. Atau preservative itu pengawet. Next. Okay, maybe this is the last slide, which is about side effect. In fact, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, has approved dozens of food additives. Consuming small amounts of additives may be safe, but the health risks add up if you rely heavily on processed foods. So if we consume not really much the additive, maybe it will be safe. But again, if we more consume the additive, there is an effect. And maybe this is dangerous for us. The effect is like some people are sensitive to particular food additives and may have reaction like hives or diarrhea. And the next is the excessive use of MSG has led to Chinese restaurant syndrome. It's a whole disorder in which the head feels dizzy and throbbing. And for the last is the effect as many people view food additives as a major food threat. Okay, maybe that's all for my group about the additive. Maybe if you have a question, we will discuss it together. Thank you.
Thank you, Arifah. For me, it is enough and clear. How about Audy?
Yes, I think it's very clear. So we next to the next topic. Okay.
Okay, thank you all.
Okay, so here I want to tell you about additive. So what is additive? Okay. So additive is substance or drugs can cause dependence or addiction. People who are addicted want to use the substance continuously. So in short, additive is substance or drugs which the people who consume it can causes the dependence or addiction, like diseases if the organism use it continuously. And addictive substance divided into three groups. The first one is narcotic substance, the second one is psychotropic substance, and the third one is other psychoactive. And next, for narcotic substance is drug derived from plant or either synthetic or semi-synthetic, which can cause reduction of consciousness, reduce to eliminate pain, and can lead dependence. For impact, the narcotic substance have two impact, which is the one is long impact and short impact. For short impact, there are can cause apathy, insomnia, high blood pressure, and stroke and death. And narcotic substance divided into three groups. The first one is, for example, is marijuana, only used for scientific development purpose because the causes to dependence is very hard, so it can be used for medicine. And the second one is for treatment and medicine. For example, is morphine. Usually, morphine used for reduce pain, mengurangi rasa sakit. And the third one is used in treatment and widely used for the medical needs. And for example, in group 3 is ethyl morphine. The next type of additive is psychotropic substance. Psychotropic substance is substance or drugs, both natural and synthetic, non-narcotics, efficacious, psychoactive through selective effect on the central nervous system that causes a typical change in mental activities and behavior. So psychotropic have four groups. The first group is ecstasy and sabu, used for scientific purpose only because they have hard causes in dependence. The second group is amphetamine. It used for psychotropic efficacious for treatment and therapy. The third one is pentobarbital. It's for medicine because the cause is medium. And the last one is phenobarbital, used for dependence in medicine. And the last type in additive, it's other psychoactive substance. Other psychoactive substance is include other additive substance, are material or substance psychoactive effect beyond the narcotic drugs and psychotropic substance. And the impact is talking lips, drunk, dizzy, the movement of hallucination, and others. And the psychoactive substance can impact to high blood pressure, stroke, and heart diseases. Other psychoactive substance divided into 3 groups. The first one is alcohol, widely used, it's ethanol. The second group is caffeine, found in caffeine tea, and the third one is nicotine, found in tobacco leaves used to cigarettes. So, addictive substance have effect on our body, like stimulant, hallucination, sedative, until hypnotics or depression. For stimulant, for example, addictive substance is caffeine, nicotine, and coke. For hallucination is, for example, psilocybin, mexicana, and synthetic hallucinogen include LSD and LSD. For sedative and hypnotics depression, for example, escitalopram, fluoxetine, and fluoxamine sertraline. So, the conclusion, addictive is substance or drugs which have impact effect to our body if we use addictive substance. That's all for me. Maybe some material not clear, you can tell me and ask me so I can answer it. Thank you.
Thank you, Audy. For me, it is enough and clear. How about Arifah?
Yes, for me also, this is clear. Thank you, Audy.
Okay. Alhamdulillah, I think all of us already present about colloid additives and
Additive.
yes. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.